Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Trying to bring a little bit of sunshine maybe to this gloomy day. Hopefully you liked my singing. Just kidding. I'm not a great singer, but hopefully I'm pretty accurate when it comes to the forecast. And I would say today's has definitely been good. Good morning, Luke. Good morning, Nolan. Good morning, Kelsey. We are starting off the day with widespread cloud cover across the area. Thanks, Kelsey. You know that that's not true. I'm not a good singer. Good morning, James. um, we are kicking off the day with a lot of widespread rain. We have some cloudy skies. We have cool temps, which is pretty much the forecast, of course, for today. Something else I do want to note, which I think is pretty important. Good morning, Eddie. Is that yesterday we had the report. And of course, we were following it all day on WCNC Charlotte, and we posted online, and we had the morning newscast too. We did have the report of the tree blocking, part of the gold line there from cats. Good morning, Joy. There's a chance that a few isolated trees definitely could come down today. We've had a decent amount of rainfall accumulation. I was doing some of the radar estimates earlier this morning, and it was showing 2 to 3 inches in a few isolated spots. Now, that was the exception, not the rule. However, there is a chance we could see 1 to 2 inches on top of that. So just be mindful as you're, driving around, you're walking out and about. If you see something that looks loose and you get a big wind gust, make sure you're aware of your surroundings. But today is going to be oh, good morning, Alan from Albemarle. Nice to see you. Good morning, Bobby. Raining in Harrisburg. Yeah, it's pretty much raining everywhere. So let's take a live picture, of course, from Kannapolis. You can see it's raining over at the Cannonballer Stadium. Just some light rain for this area now, but as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, you may be a little bit upset at me, but we're pretty much going to see rain now throughout the rest of today. I did bump this up to 100% because at some point someone is going to see this much rain, over the next few hours. And then temperature wise, it is cold, it is chilly, it is raw. I really think Brad was driving this home even last night. We were talking about the fact that it's not just going to be cold with temps in the 40s, but you get the wind chill. And of course it feels colder than that. Current feels like 37, current temperature 43. So I'm in my sleeveless jumpsuit now. I actually wore the jumpsuit ironically because the pants make me feel warmer in the studio, but then of course I looked like I was trying to channel summer back, which maybe I am on the newscast this morning. Widespread rain across the area. We've had some pockets of heavy rain. No thunder or lightning yet. I do think the atmosphere is pretty stable, so this should limit us a little bit with our rate with that storm potential today. But down toward the south and west, toward Atlanta, the upstate of South Carolina, there have been a few lightning strikes. So again, we're mostly watching for heavy rain, cloudy skies, and colder temperatures. So rain jacket, umbrella, heavy coat, all those things are going to be necessities throughout today. So here's a wide view here of WCNC Doppler. Again, you can see some pockets of heavier rain on the east side of Mecklenburg County, moving toward Cabarrus County, Stanley County, Rowan County, even eastern parts here of Union and Anson. You can see, again, some of those pockets of heavy rain as you see WCNC Doppler radar scanning the skies. Good reminder that radar is essentially never really live because it does take about a minute or two sometimes to scan and then about 5 minutes to get that data back. So as we take a look at some of these showers, again, they're mostly moving off toward the northeast. So, areas like Landis, Concord, Big Lake, yes, seeing rain right now, but that could be in Rockwell as quickly as about 20 to 30 minutes. Weddington, Waxhaw, Matthews, Mint Hill seeing some lighter rain now than what you saw a little bit ago, but some heavier pockets again toward north and northeastern portions there of can't even, oh my voice is cracking a little bit. Union County, and again over toward Anson County. And as we travel a little bit further to the south and west, we have Lake Wiley, we have Fort Mill, Rock Hill, all those areas in York County seeing some lighter rain for Gaston County, Lincoln County too right now. So we're really just going to keep this trend of light to moderate rain, off and on for the majority again of today. Doesn't mean we won't see a few pockets of heavy rain, but I encourage folks, if you don't have to travel, don't do so, or especially if it's shorter distance. Give yourself extra time, use some caution, slow down. Yesterday morning I was filling in for Chris, which I did mention a few times this morning, and at one point there were so many crashes that I could hardly keep count. Now I do think it's important to note that none of those, thankfully, were major crashes yesterday morning, but there were just so many on the map. So I just want everyone to just take a little extra time. No one likes to be, dealing with a crash. No one likes to hydroplane, all that good stuff. So futurecast radar, again, you can see some light to moderate rain. Again, this is going to feel like I'm droning on and on. It's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. But really that's kind of how it's going to be for the majority of today. Again, we're going to see rain through 5 o'clock, through 6 o'clock, through 7 o'clock, through 8 o'clock. Let's see if it wants to progress. Sorry, the graphics seem to be moving a little bit slower than they normally do today. Um, but we, of course, are going to see just consistent rainfall off and on through the majority of the day. Heavier pockets of rain, again, are going to be a possibility. Let's see if it wants to go now. But we are eventually going to see some of that start to clear out. I would say after about midnight, we start to see some clearing from northwest to southeast. Even as we enter the evening hours, I still think we're expected to see light rain and some drizzle activity. Sometimes on our radar side, some of the futurecast models can still show a little bit of light green. That's oftentimes drizzle. You can kind of see this here, see down toward like Rock Hill, York County, Chester County. Some of that, again, is just going to be drizzle, but it's still going to be something that you'll feel, on your head. So if you are a stay up later or go outer till 2 a.m., that is definitely not me. Not just because I work the morning shift, but not really me, even if I didn't. But you'll likely still see some light rain, some drizzle even through that time frame. I really don't think we're wrapping up the rain completely until closer to about 5 a.m. So that should wrap up just in time for, of course, your Easter sunrise services. I would encourage anyone who is maybe planning on wearing heels or some nice shoes that they care about to maybe switch to, a slipper, a shoe that you don't care about ruining, maybe a tennis shoe. I know that's not great, if you're trying to dress up for church. It's just the fact that if you're going to be walking, in a parking lot even, there still could be some standing water. Don't want your nice leather shoes, things like that, to be ruined. And of course, if you do Easter sunrise service, sometimes outside, jackets will be needed. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s and lower 40s tomorrow morning. And I know my parents' church at home in Florida sometimes will do some of those sunrises outside that can require walking through grass. It's going to be muddy. So just prepare for all of that. Honestly, if I was going, if I wasn't working, I probably would bring like a towel, to kind of wipe off the shoes before I got back in the car. Tomorrow, or today that is, we're also going to be tracking a low in risk for some localized flash flooding potential. This is low from pretty much, southeastern Louisiana all the way up to the Carolinas. This is just because we have so much rain possibility today on top of what we already saw yesterday. And then of course, what we saw on Thursday too with some of those isolated storms. I was looking at some of the radar estimates earlier. I mentioned this, but I was seeing 2 to 3 inches in a few spots. So it's just those localized areas that we will have to watch out for. If your home is already susceptible, to flooding, maybe you live near a creek, things like that, go ahead and take those precautions now, to prevent that from happening. Easter Sunday, again, it's going to look a lot better than today, truthfully. Upper 30s to start off the day. We'll reach the low 60s in the afternoon. It will be mostly sunny, so it will get a lot better, but the breezy wind is still going to stick around. So we have gust potential close to about 25 miles per hour today. I do think that could even get a touch higher tomorrow, especially in the afternoon hours. So today, just a steady rain. We're raw, we're chilly, we're cold. Gloves, jackets, hats. I said this earlier, and I feel like sometimes I'm being a little bit dramatic, even though grew up in Atlanta, but I moved here from Florida. But we back in December had our it wasn't scouting for our why can't I think of the name? Our toy drive, magical toy drive. Oh goodness gracious! Turned 30 2 weeks ago. Now I can't remember anything. Our magical toy drive down in at the Carolina Place Mall, and it was cloudy and cool, but temperatures were in the 50s, and it really wasn't even raining, and it was still really cold. I mean, Brad is from Ohio, myself, Chloe, our producers, our news director, we were all wearing those jackets, and I even had my gloves at times. It's going to be even cooler than that. So again, if you plan on being outside for long periods of time, that is something that you want to keep in mind. Although we are going to see drastic improvement by tomorrow. Monday morning, we'll want to watch out for a little bit of patchy frost, especially for areas near the I-40 corridor, just with those colder temperatures moving in. Sunshine still in 60s in the afternoon, and then we're pretty much on an upward climb as we enter the latter half of the week and heading into next weekend. Late Friday and into Saturday, right now, some of our long range models are indicating we could see another round of some showers, but it does look like this one is going to be a little bit warmer than what we're seeing today. Something else important to note, of course, the Charlotte Knights are back at home on Tuesday for their next series against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Always think that name is hilarious. But that, of course, starts that series on Tuesday and lasts all the way through next weekend. So I hope everyone has a happy, safe, healthy, Saturday, Easter weekend. If you don't, celebrate and it's your spring break, I hope you're able to enjoy. Just know that today is really the worst day over the next 7, and things are only going to improve from here. So I hope you have a great day, great time. If you do want to be able to track kind of the changes coming up with our forecast over the next few days, I would definitely encourage you all to download the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. I saw Brad tweeting about something about this to someone the other day, so I just thought it was kind of a good reminder, especially for my audience here on Facebook. But um, someone yesterday morning tweeted at him about the fact that they were looking at the weather app that comes on their phone, and it was pouring at their house, and their phone app showed a 30% chance of rain. Just a reminder that the apps that come on your phone, weather apps that come from, national, sometimes cable networks, things like that, they are all coming from raw model data. If you guys remember earlier in the winter season, we had a lot of events, that long range were trying to show snow in Charlotte. And then what happened? We actually had our first winter ever on record with no snowfall here in the Queen City. It's because all of the app data comes from raw model data. So let's say you have one run that shows 100% chance of rain, let's say at 10:30. That's the time it almost is. But then the next run it shows, rain nearby, but not right over you. Well, it might switch to 40%, and then the next update it changes. Just like with some of the models that were trying to show snow, some of them showed like 20 inches of snow. We saw literally nothing all winter long. So as those new, model runs come in, it just updates automatically. So it's just pinpointed weather data for your location. And so whatever it's showing, that's what it spits out. But human forecasters are looking at, what's happening now. The models, yes, but a lot of different ones. What are those model biases? Is it sometimes too warm or too cold with temperatures? Is it sometimes overdue rainfall events? What models normally handle a cold air damming, like a wedge situation, like what we have today better? So we have all of that knowledge, and that's what goes into our human forecasting. Are we always going to be right? Absolutely not. But whereas back, in the 70s and 80s, there started the joke about, you could be a weather person and, be wrong 50% of the time and still get paid. Nowadays, most TV meteorologists, it's closer to about 90 to 95% accuracy. So, we have all these tools, we have all this technology, and things are continuously getting better. But I just think it's a good reminder of why you trust your human meteorologist, your local meteorologist better. I always give even my family this advice when they're traveling, to check the local station, in the area, whatever, doesn't matter, local affiliate. But to check their app and their radar, and that's where they should get their data, not from a nationally syndicated broadcast, or their one that comes on their app, because it's almost always going to be wrong. Where if you pick someone local, like the WCNC Charlotte Weather Team, you're almost always going to be right versus the opposite. So I will leave that with my TED Talk for the day. I hope everybody has a great, happy, healthy, safe, wonderful Saturday. I know it's not great weather-wise, but I hope you're able to stay inside, enjoy some time with friends and family. And if you didn't catch it on WCNC Charlotte, I am going to post it on my Facebook page in a little bit. But just a special shout out to Larry Sprinkle. Today is his 38th anniversary here at WCNC Charlotte. At least of being full time. He's been full time here as of today since 1985. Before that, since the mid to late 70s, he did specials like movie specials and things like that. So he's been a staple at the station, but also in the community for essentially over 40 years at this point. And he's someone that is so special. What you see on TV is what you get in person. I truthfully, he's one of my closest friends here at work, even though we have an age gap. But he is just such a nice, genuine person, cares about the community, cares about volunteering and animals. And I just think he's such a special person. So if you are, out and about today, or you're thinking about someone that you thought, oh, I just wanted to, I don't know, pray for someone today, something like that. Just keep him in the back of your mind because he's a special human. It's also one of our producers who's a good close friend of mine too, Zenobia. It's her birthday today too. And of course, Chloe Leschner, the one, the only. It's also her 30th birthday today. So lots of people to celebrate, even though the weather is nasty. So hopefully you guys are able to enjoy your weekend. And if you're, again, on spring break, you are Easter and you celebrate, hopefully you're able to do so tomorrow outside versus today. I hope everybody has, again, a great day. I don't know why I'm droning on today, but I hope you all have a seriously wonderful Saturday and Sunday, and be sure to stay safe out there. Bye, guys.